So look, today's daily Bible text very powerful. I want y'all to listen to it. For today, which is September 14, 2025, today's daily Bible text, which you can find on Ephesians chapter 3, verse 18. I repeat, today's daily Bible text, which you can find on Ephesians chapter 3, verse 18, which reads and says and reads and states this. It says, comprehend fully the breadth and length and height and depth. Notice what I said there. Comprehend fully means fully the breadth, length, height, and depth. Now, what do they mean by that? Well, it's just like anybody, you know what I'm saying? Before you, let's say, right? You about to eat food. You got a whole meal, you waiting to eat it. Whole meal, barbecue ribs, chicken, potato salad, all kind of stuff on your plate. Now imagine if you just rushed and ate the food. Is it going to feel like you was able to really, enjoy your food? No, because you rushed through it. You see what I'm saying? So it's no difference when it comes to the Bible. This is why it mentions in the scripture, I want you to slowly but surely, carefully read the Bible. I don't want you to rush through it. You know what I mean? Because you want to take everything into, conscious or into notion. You know what I mean? There's no difference when you do a school test. Don't the teacher always tell you, to take your time and do the test? You know what I mean? They don't tell you to rush through it. Even though that's in our nature to want to rush through, people anxious to rush through. They want to be the first one. It's like competition, right? So they want to be the first one to leave out the classroom and all of that. But believe it or not, some people might get it correct still. Some people's, fortunately blessed with that ability to still rush and get through. But 90% people that rush through, 9 out of 10 is going to get it wrong. You ever rush through, and then one time it might be like, you rushed through, right? And the teacher stopped you, like, you had everything right. But guess what? You forgot to simply put your name on the test. Stuff like that. You see, this is why you never want to rush through. You know what I mean? Believe it or not, that person that might leave out the classroom last. Yeah, it might be hours later, he's stuck in a classroom, but he 9 out of 10 might got everything right, because he carefully took his time. So I say that to say this. This is what today's daily Bible text represent. Is about carefully understanding the the words of the Bible. You know what I mean? Because you could rush through, and I've been through that sometimes. I have to admit. Sometimes I rush through because I'm trying to hurry up and get through. And guess what? The elder might ask you a question, then you might thought you got it right. He might say, "Wow, you got it right, brother." He might say, "But what about this? What does this mean?" And you might be like, huh? So my thing is, this is why you want to carefully read the Bible. You want to take your time and fully read the Bible. I literally just got the Revelations now, and it took me dang near a whole year. But of course, I'm going to reread the whole Bible so I can fully take it in. You know what I mean? Because certain things could go over your head. Certain things you might miss. You know what I'm saying? You might miss. You know what I'm saying? But long story short, like prime example, what does mountain mean? Somebody that might don't know the Bible might think a mountain is regular. But if you really truly study the Bible, then those who know, they know a mountain can also represent a government. Just as a mountain is high, you see, it can represent government, meaning somebody of high, stature. Also, what is a vacant house? You see, somebody might don't know what that means if they didn't fully read the Bible. They might just think it's a regular vacant house. But those who read the Bible know a vacant house is a person that basically is vulnerable. That he leave himself vulnerable to be invaded by evil demonic spirits. Or in other words, this saying how it says, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Meaning like far as religion is concerned. So it's like, at least have some kind of religion, because if you don't, you left vulnerable, or in other words, your house is left vacant for people to just come in and consume you, and people that can just invade your space, evil, demonic. You leave yourself vulnerable. So all of these different analogies, you know what I'm saying, come into play. So this is why, just as today's daily Bible text mentions, which you can find on Ephesians chapter 3, verse 18, which reads and says and reads, which was given by Paul, the Apostle Paul. He told all his Christian brothers and sisters, you know, to read the Bible diligently. You know, he wants you to read it diligently. It's just like the scripture where it mentions you want to inculcate the Bible day and night. You see what I'm saying? All day meaning. So to you, this is how Jehovah's Witnesses is. They know the scriptures. I'm just a student still. You got to remember that. People think I'm good, but I'm still a student. I know my Uncle Earl just gave me some kind of question. It was a powerful question because he wanted to ask me. He trying to teach me in his own way, but we don't even study Torah and all these other things. Them other things actually come from us. You know, Jehovah's Witnesses. You know what I'm saying? We don't try to go to other studies because that could leave someone vulnerable. Like, might want to become Muslim now and all of that. No, this is what Jehovah teaches. I mean, it's not wrong if you're strong-minded, you know, you're stern, you can do all of that. See what I'm saying? But what if somebody weak? Then they can, you know, easily be vulnerable, just like the brother, the young kid that walked through the same street of the prostitute. But if y'all don't know that story, then I can break that down to you another time. But just as he left himself vulnerable, he thought he was, you know, nah, that prostitute ain't gonna get me. But look what happened. Those who know the story. So it's the same. So I don't read Torah, none of that. But I appreciate my uncle, and I know he's going to drop the jewel on me. But like I said, but I don't really too much even I'm not trying to be rude, even care for that. It's just we study Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, my whole thing is, but it's a powerful question. I appreciate my uncle for that. As he break it down, you know, because he's trying to test you to strengthen up your ability and for you to learn, you know, why do we, you know, we taught to be called Jehovah, but in Tehran they call him Yahweh. I do think it's simply because the letter J wasn't back then. I mean, a lot of people teach that, even the black. I used to watch Black Consciousness, but also, you know, the words. There's a whole lot. I get to that later, though, man. I get to that later because I gotta deeply think, because it's like, I know in Appendix A section you can see all of that and what it is. I can literally even read it to you now. But this is what I'm saying. I'm getting carried away. I'm losing my thoughts. So I get to that later. But I do appreciate my uncle for the mind building. But I just try to keep focused on Jehovah. But long story short, but today's daily Bible text, you know, that's basically what it's meaning. You know, you want to carefully, you know, consume or examine Jehovah's scripture. Just like the scripture mentioned, if I read it, I can read it to y'all now. But it mentions how, you know, before you get a house, you don't want to just look in the outside. You want to go inside so you could carefully examine everything. You know what I'm saying? It's the same when it comes to the Bible scriptures. You know what I mean? But very powerful text. And this is what it says on Ephesians chapter 3, verse 18. Yes, I had it already ready for you guys because I pre-do things. So meaning like I already knew I was going to make this video. 9 out of 10, whatever I do is premeditated. So long story short, this is what it says in Ephesians chapter 3, verse 18. And you could look, if I'm lying, right? Just look at it. First and foremost, look at what it says, what scripture we on. Right? Ephesians chapter 3, verse 18. So you can see we're in chapter 3 if you see the 4 there. So chapter 3, verse 18 states this. In order that with all the holy ones you may be thoroughly able to comprehend fully what is the breadth and length and height and depth. Notice what I said there. In order that with all the holy ones you may be thoroughly able to comprehend fully what is the breadth and length and height and depth. So basically, once again, just like what I'm just saying now. You know what I'm saying? Big up to everybody, though. I mean, basically, carefully, you know, before you eat your food, you don't want to rush through your food because you're not going to be able to enjoy it. You got to slowly eat your food so you be able to really truly ingest it and, you know, consume it and enjoy it. You rush through fried chicken and all, you ain't get to enjoy it. It ain't going, you know, so it's the same. Just like when you're doing that school test. You don't want to be rushing through because then, look, you eventually might get something wrong. So this is why you want to carefully go over everything, like I just mentioned with the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Because, look, you ain't going to know what mountains mean. I had to learn that from a brother. And then when you read some of the scriptures, then you put it together, the mountains, mentioning a high government or, you know, a vacant house. You know, somebody that's basically, I don't want to say someone that's basically naive. You see, or somebody leave themselves vulnerable for anybody, to come in and invade their space. I'm not really naive, then I don't want to say that, but basically, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. So at least be a part of some kind of religion. You know what I'm saying? So, especially the truth, Jehovah's Witness. But I'm going to end off there. I'm going to holler. Stay tuned to the AD story tonight. It will be the night, you heard? Big up to all those show, my brother Soul Dad, a.k.a. SD, a.k.a. Shamal Hill Love, Real Dude, you know what I'm saying? And all the scriptures all the videos I make is facts, you heard? But I'm a holler though, love is love. Aight. Splash. St. Alfred I had on yesterday. Bumming, but hey, it is what it is. But at least I'm in my home. You dig?